Welcome, welcome everybody, welcome all. We're going to give it another minute or two before we make a start to see if there's more people that will join the call tonight. If you would like, just to introduce yourself, maybe put your name in the chat and just say where you are in Newham and maybe anything else like how's your day been. I'm going to put mine in. I'm Samuel.
I'll remove the spotlight so we can all see each other.
Lovely.
Hello, my name is Katerina.
Hi, Katerina. Nice to meet you.
And you too.
I think we've got a few more people here. If you want to just say hello, if you like, maybe in the chat. No worries if you feel a little bit nervous, it's all okay. This is going to be hopefully a really nice, good conversation where we are going to support each other really more than anything for this session. Okay. I think we will keep an eye out for more participants, but for now, I think we should make a start. So good evening, everyone. It's lovely to have you here tonight. My name is Samuel. I am the Participatory Democracy Coordinator. Yes, it's an absolute mouthful. My job is working with my colleague Anna to run the People Powered Places program. Anna's just said hello. Hi, Anna.
Hello, good to see you all.
Thank you. Before we make a start, we want to just let everybody know that firstly, we are going to record this session. So if you do not want to have yourself seen, do turn off your camera. But that's totally up to you. And also, we are going to be joined with two BSL interpreters tonight. Their names are Irina and Tony. Very quickly, is anybody on the call right now that would need to use or need the BSL interpreters? If you can give a quick hands up or give a quick shout. No? Okay, that's absolutely fine. They are there and they're going to be available throughout this session tonight. How this session is also going to work, because Tony and Irene are going to be supporting each other with the sign language, we are going to do our best to make the presentation as paced as possible, and they will need to take regular breaks in between. So they will give us a quick nudge to say we're switching over so they can do their interpretation. So if you could please bear with us during this call when we need to make that switch over in between slides, but we will do our best to just let you guys know and things. In this presentation, both me and Anna will be as well, so we'll be switching between there too. Before I make a start as well, I would like to bring in and just say a quick shout out to members of our community neighborhood team. I think we've got a few on the call already. If any of the community neighborhood teams could maybe unmute themselves, bring their camera up and just give a quick hello and introduce yourself. I think we've got Kusuma first.
Yes, we do. Hi, everyone. I did put myself, I did introduce myself in the chat as well. So I'm Kosuma. I'm the Community Neighborhood Senior Officer for Manor Park. I can see some residents already. So hello, everybody. Nice to see you all. Pass it to Natasha.
Hi everyone, I'm Natasha Bankwa. I'm the Community Neighbourhood Senior Officer for Plastead area. Hi everyone.
Do we have any more of our community neighborhood team?
I can see
I think I'll
Medine.
pass it to Medine.
Hi everyone, I'm Mardine Wright Simpson and I'm the Community Neighborhood Senior Officer for Custom House in Canning Town.
Bro.
I think there might be someone here from Stratford as well.
I am Jyoti Singh, I'm area manager for Stratford, West Ham, Forest Gate and Maryland. Hi everybody, welcome to this meeting.
Great, Bro, thank you very much. Before we make a start, I'm going to now start sharing my slides and mix up, but we just want to make sure we do that. All of our tech is running smoothly and the interpreters are okay. So if you just bear with me one moment. Here we go. Firstly, maybe if people can give their thumbs up or just give a quick shout out. Can everyone see my screen, which shows People Power Places Support Clinic? Yeah, I can send
Yes.
to me. Yep. Awesome.
Yes, yes.
Great. Fantastic. Interpreters, are you both okay?
All good, thank you.
Amazing.
All
Brilliant.
good
Great.
from Tony. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, let's get going. Let's get going. Let's make a start on this. So, just a very brief rundown. Just want to start, obviously, by introducing ourselves, introducing the process. I'm going to go through that now and just say hello and welcome, everyone. I will be just giving you a few practical details about how this presentation is going to go. I'll be then be bringing in Anna to come and speak a little bit more about the People Power Places program, what it's all about, and what great things are going to happen, hopefully, for the next 2 years. I will then come in to provide a little more information about the fund, the practical details of applying, about the funding process, about how to complete the application forms in the ways in which you can do it. We will open up the room for questions a little bit later on. So if you do have a really burning question, please take a note, hold on to it, possibly even pop it into the chat, because hopefully it'll be myself or Anna that can respond with that. But we will have a Q&A session much later on. But we will also provide everyone with a demo of the online application form, which is now on the website. So we'll give a quick glide through that and offer up any questions about if you need any help or have any questions or need any help with completing the online form. And then hopefully we should be able to all finish by 7 p.m., ready for dinner, all knowledged up, all encouraged, all excited to apply, and everyone's got what they need. Great. So we've already introduced the community neighborhood teams. I have myself and Anna as the core team, and we've got Irina and Tony as the interpreters. Housekeeping, we're going to record this session. If you need any help during this session, please let us know in the chat. And we've got Tony Irina interpreting. Anna, would you like to make a start with introducing the program?
Yes, of course. Right. Good to see you, everybody. So if you were at the launch event or one of the Our Ideas events, should we do a quick hands up? Was anyone here at the Our Ideas event, the launch event? I can see Dean's got his hand up. Nahima, John, I can see you. Use the hands up button. I can't really see very many people. I think it's because I'm spotlighting. I can see a thumbs up, Kieran and Nyanja. Great, good to have you here. So you'll be familiar with the next few slides. So People Power Places is Newham Council's participatory budgeting programme, and we're very proud to say that it's one of the largest in the UK. We have £1.6 million worth of funding to give to voluntary community and faith sector organisations, as well as residents, as well as for youth-led projects. And the money comes from developers. So whenever there is a big new building in the borough, they have to pay something called the Neighbourhood Community Infrastructure Levy, and that needs to be decided by local residents, and the mechanisms that the council's chosen is participatory budgeting, which is where residents decide how funding is spent. We have a partnership with the Royal Docks team, which is a partnership between the Royal Docks team is a partnership between the London Mayor's Office and Newham Council around the Royal Docks area in the south of the borough, and they have given an additional £80,000 to Beckton and Royal Docks and Custom House in Canning Town. So we have been delivering this program in various different guises. If you've been around long enough, I know Dean has, you'll know all its names, from Community Citizens Assembly to Community Assemblies and now People Power Places. And through this program, we have funded over 300 projects, which is amazing. And in the last cycle, so we ran it on a 2-year cycle, we funded 114 projects and we reached 54,000 engagements. So that's the numbers of times residents had benefited from one of the projects that was funded, which is really incredible. So next slide, please. So how does it work? So Newham is split into 8 neighbourhoods. Should we do a quick, what are the neighbourhoods? I've been seeing lots in the chat, actually. If you want to put them in the chat. We've got someone from Canning Town here. So that's Custom House in Canning Town is one neighbourhood. We've got Katerina from Beckton. So Beckton and Royal Docks is one. We have got someone here from Forest Gate. So that comes as Stratford and Forest Gate. We've got Colsuma, the senior officer for Manor Park. Yeah, Maryland. So Maryland comes down to Forest Gate. We've also got Green Street, Barstow, Manor Park, East Ham. What have I not said? I think I've said them all. So each of the 8 neighbourhoods is allocated £200,000. And residents have already chosen the local priorities that will shape the types of projects that will receive funding. So we'll come on to that in a minute. And residents can apply for funding, voluntary community and faith sector can apply, and young people can apply. And then residents will vote for which projects should get the funding. And that vote, we call that the big vote, and that will be happening in November this year. Next slide, please. So this is what our 2-year cycle looks like. So over June and July, we were choosing our local priorities. So residents were choosing online, in local library or community centres, and at the Our Ideas events. We're currently in the lighter blue stage, apply. So now it's time to apply for funding. As I said, in November, that will be the big vote where residents can vote for the projects. You'll have between March to February 2027 to deliver your project. And then in March 2027, we will be celebrating everything that you've achieved over the past year. So that's what the cycle looks like.
Anna,
Yeah.
we're just going to switch the interpreters.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Good to go. Cool. So we've made a few changes to the program. We did a huge evaluation in the last, sorry, I started watching Tony, the interpreter. I'm getting put off. I'm being distracted. So yeah, we've made a few changes based on the evaluation. One of the things we know is that it can be quite difficult for smaller groups, smaller projects such as resident-led projects to get funding against larger organisations that naturally have a wider reach. So we've ring-fenced funding this cycle. So 25% is ring-fenced for resident-led funding, which is £50,000, £5,000 per project. So a minimum of 10 projects being funded in each neighbourhood, which is amazing. We've also got 25% ring fence for youth-led projects, so that's 10,000 per project, and 50% ring fenced for voluntary community and faith sector organisations. And just as a side note, youth-led projects need to be delivered with an organisation. So next slide, please. I've forgotten when we're meant to be switching, so I'm just going to keep talking until you tell me not to. So again, a few other changes that we made. We are launching an alumni network for previous project leads. As we've said, we funded 300 projects. That's 300 community leaders. We want to be able to provide more support beyond the funding. We have created a youth advisory board who are providing more strategic oversight and guidance to the program. So they've been involved in shaping the application form, making it way more accessible. So yeah, that's one of the many things they've been doing. And we're also limiting the number of times project leads can receive funding to a maximum of 3 times to ensure that there is greater equity in terms of how funding is distributed across the community. Next slide, please. So as you hopefully know, applications are open and they close on Sunday, the 14th of September. So you've got a good couple of weeks, I think it's 7 weeks now, to apply, and we'll be accepting applications via Plinth, which is our new online system that Samuel will be talking through. Video and audio applications as well, which we'll go through as well in a minute, as well as Word document applications, which can be requested through your neighbourhood teams. And our community neighbourhood teams are providing one-to-one personalised support. They're all doing slightly different things, so it's worth checking out the neighbourhood pages on Co-Create. Next slide, please. Is it still me? Okay.
If you want, you can.
You go for it. I feel
Sure.
like I've been talking for ages.
Bro, no worries. Yeah, so thank you, Anna. Thanks for that breakdown. So the next section really is just to help everybody here to understand how to.
Sorry, Simon, the slide's not showing.
Oh, the slide's not showing. Okay.
Now it is.
It's showing now.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's showing. Oh, okay. Apologies for that. Okay, so how to apply. So how you do this is you would go on to the Newham Co-Create website. The link is on the top of the page. If Anna can make a quick copy and put that in the chat, that would also be helpful. On the main web page, there will be sections for each of the community neighborhoods where you want to deliver your project. So if you want to deliver your project in Forest Gate, there will be a section that says Forest Gate, Maryland, and that's where you can go ahead and apply. We're making a change this time round. We are allowing everyone to apply online, but you can also get a Word document to instead, if you need to write down your application, you would just need to contact your community neighborhood team to request it and get some further guidance. It's really important that everyone here, when you do apply, if you're going to be working with people, if you're going to make a group or a resident group to apply, you need to make sure that whatever is put on your application form, everyone is aware, everyone confirms the information, everyone agrees with the information that's been provided. If you want to make any changes to your submission before the deadline, you'll just need to get in contact with your community neighborhood team and request an amendment. Sorry, is when after you have submitted your project and you want to make any changes, that's when you can do that. Applications will be open, or they're now open from 18th of July, and they will close on Sunday, the 14th of September at 11 p.m. And just a quick handy tip for everybody. It's really good to make sure you get your application form in early. This is so those who will be scoring your application, that'll be the working groups and council departments, they may come back and ask for some extra information or maybe further questions, and it will give you the time and the opportunity to refine your application before the deadline. I've made a point earlier about everyone that can apply online, and you can submit a Word document for your application, but we're going to make a change to make it the process more accessible. You can now apply via video or audio. So how this works is in our guidance document, we've got like a detailed process if anybody needs it on how to submit it. But a few key details is important. If you want to create a video recording of your application, you need to make sure it's in .mov or .mp4 format. And for audio recordings, they need to be in MP3 format. You will notice as you complete your application form, if you do it this way, there are certain things which need to be completed in written format. It will just prove maybe a little bit tricky, a little bit difficult to record monetary details and things like that. So the budget section will need to be completed in written format. You can, if you do need help with that part of the process, please let us know. But because you are also making a recording using a large amount of data online, you need to consider using a free, safe, and secure file transfer function to share your application with us, with the community neighborhood teams. There are recommendations in the application guidance document. You may already have a system which you can use, but if you decide to use this process, we can help you, support you just in case. Yeah. So who can apply? So anybody who lives, works, or learns in the community neighborhood can apply. There is no prior experience or knowledge needed. You cannot apply if you are part of the People Power Places working group anywhere in Newham. And in this cycle, we really do encourage new groups to apply, to bring in new, fresh ideas. And with this ring fencing of funding, it allows more scope for different types of projects as well, because it's been split from resident, VCFS, and youth-led. So hopefully we'll have a really, really good result and really good ideas that come from everyone today, or everyone from who applies. So why should you apply for funding? Well, the key thing is that you will be able to access seed funding, and you can play your part in making a difference in the community. You can bring your ideas to life and put a stamp on what you would like to see in Newham and make a difference from there. It enables you to also gain community buy-in, meet new people, get involved in new networks, find support and opportunities to grow your ideas on your project and potentially flourish into something new and bigger and better, which is always great. And you're playing a vital, really important part in making Newham a better place to live for everybody. And you're doing it with support from us, but you're doing it in support of everyone else that's also looking to do the same thing. And it's an amazing environment and space to be in. And of course, if you have never done this before, or even possibly if you have, you get to develop your knowledge and skills and experience, and it's absolutely worthwhile to use, not only through the project, but maybe in your personal life and working with others as well. So it's always a fantastic opportunity to go ahead and apply for this funding. Anna, I'm going to bring you in, if that's okay, to discuss priority themes.
Oh. So, Newham, how do I talk about this? So Newham Council has got a corporate plan with 8 key priority areas, and 6 of them have been identified as being ones that residents can choose to shape the types of projects that receive funding through People Power Places. So the 2 that weren't chosen, one is that Newham is a campaigning borough, which isn't quite right for People Power Places, and the other is about housing, which, from a resident's perspective, £20,000 or £5,000 isn't going to do much to support housing in Newham. So the 6 are health and well-being, inclusive economy, environment and public spaces, community safety, youth empowerment, and community development and participation. So since the 3rd of June, residents have been choosing priorities. We've had the big launch where residents could vote, online, in libraries and community centres, and at the Our Ideas events. So there have been 2,900 resident engagements in deciding the local priorities, which is amazing, and 844 residents attended the Our Ideas events where we were discussing priorities and coming up with solutions. Next slide, please. So these are the priorities for each neighbourhood. You might want to take a photo of this or a screenshot. So your project idea will need to align with at least one of these priority areas. This is what the working groups will be looking at and scoring all the applications against. So it's really important that your projects align with at least one of the priorities for the particular neighbourhood that you are deciding to deliver your project in. So keep that up for an extra minute so that you can have a second to write it down or take a photo, whatever you need to do.
How are we doing for the interpreters in the meantime?
Yeah, I'm happy. Is my audio on? Yes, it is on. Yes, we'll swap on the next bit if that's okay.
Awesome. No worries. Just give us a shout.
Okay.
I think we've allowed enough time, but we'll move on to the next slide.
Hold on, I'm just adding the spotlight for Irina. Okay, so is this still me or is this you?
Would you like to carry, or yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, no worries. Okay, so practical details. So these are just sort of the rules and guidelines about how this process is overall going to work. So we've already briefly mentioned the projects are going to be expected to start from March next year, and they will finish at the end of February 2027. We showed you just now the top 3 priorities in each neighborhood. Whatever neighborhood you decide to submit a project for, it must address at least one or more of the 3 priorities in that neighborhood. This information, just in case, is also available on Co-Create. It's also in the guidelines document. You are only able to submit one project for this cycle, and projects will need to be an entirely new project and not a continuation of previous PowerPlaces projects. And as we said as well, is that the projects need to be locally based to your chosen neighborhood and not borough-wide. As you're going to apply for funding, there may be a possibility, depending on what your idea is, that you may need to get some permissions. And that's especially the case if you are looking to do a project in a public space in like parks or premises or pathways, or in other types of community centers, for instance. If you do need to do that, you need to be clear about where you're going to conduct your project, and you also need to make sure that you know who to ask in getting those permissions, and so on and so forth. If your project is going to be working with children, with vulnerable adults as well, you need to provide some safeguarding policies and need to provide relevant training certificates and DBS checks. So we make sure that as you're working with these types of people and for everybody else involved, everyone is safe, everyone's on board. This is not immediately requested in this application form at this stage. It will be at the later parts of the process that we would need to request this information. And as I said, all of this information is in the guidance document, so you'll be able to use that as a point of reference, but we are still here to support if you need. One of the key differences that we are doing in this application as well is that we are making sure that everyone conducts a form of consultation. What is a consultation? It's pretty much that you are going out to do your own, in a way, your own research in the area that you want to do your project, and finding out whether the residents or people who live, work, or study there would like to see what you're doing, or they agree or have any worries or concerns. So when you do this consultation, it needs to happen really if you're going to do your project in a public space, and if you're going to do it in places as well, like on a housing estate. When you apply for the fund and you do this consultation, you need to provide as much evidence as possible, provide that in the application form, and you will probably need to keep a record of all these consultations throughout the time you're doing your project. But what the extra benefit is to doing a consultation is that it allows you to, it gives you the opportunity to reach out to those in your immediate area and to find out and to basically promote your project. Tell everybody about the potential of your project, see if people like it or agree. Maybe in turn, there will be people who will end up potentially supporting and voting for your project because you've directly found a way to engage with them and tell them about what it is that you're trying to do. So even if this is a media requirement, or you don't need to do a consultation because you're not going to do it in a public space, it's always good to do something like this so that you can network and reach out to your community and let them know about your amazing idea. One key thing as well is we've made a change to one of the vital parts of the application, and that is how you budget for your project. What needs to happen in this time round is that we are asking everybody to make sure that they provide as much clear detail as possible, so that we can see that you have fully costed and fully detailed everything in terms of your project costs and your maintenance costs. And along with that, to provide a timeline so that we can see how you're going to spend your money, when you're going to spend your money, and how much that is going to overall cost. In the guidance documents and in the catalogue of costs, these documents are available online, and they provide you with additional information. So they will be able to, you can use that as a point of reference. But of course, we're still here if you have any unique questions about completing your budget. One key thing that's really important is we offer guidance about salaries and expenses. So those who come in and support your project and they need to get paid or remunerated for their time and efforts. Resident-led projects, however, cannot claim a salary from their project. If you have any specific questions or any sort of guidance around that or have any concerns, please let us know, because we are going to be able to provide further detail and guidance about what this means. But one of the most important thing about this is that you need to make sure that you are showing value for money. So when you are completing your budget, you're submitting your budget information, you are finding as many ways as possible to be as cost effective and to utilize as much of the money as possible to make it spread far, and that it makes sure that that you are finding ways to make your money go far in achieving what you want to achieve in your funds. I'm going to bring on Anna in for the next slide.
Yeah, just gonna check in with our BSL interpreters. Would you like to do a switch?
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been on for.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm happy to continue for like another
Happy?
5-10 minutes. Yeah.
Perfect. Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you, Anna.
No worries. So you'll receive your funds in 3 stages. So say, for example, you apply for the full £5,000. You will, once you've been told that you've been successful in receiving your funding, You'll submit a grant agreement and any relevant documents, policies, such as if you're doing a project with children and young people, that's when you submit your safeguarding policies, etc. And you'll receive the first 50% of the funds up front. So you'll receive the first 2,500. You'll then be asked to submit a monitoring form, and that's a form. It's quite self-explanatory, along with all copies of receipts and invoices to evidence how funds have been spent. And then we'll release the next 25%, so 1,250. And when you're coming to the end of that, you'll then submit it monitoring form 2 to let us know how you've been doing, give an update on everything you've achieved so far. And you'll release the final 20% of the funding, and then you will need to submit an evaluation form at the end to give an overview of all your impact outcomes of the entirety of your project. So I think people sometimes get a little overwhelmed with the paperwork. We recognize that we do ask a lot, but that is for good reason. Our program gets audited, so we need to be able to evidence how all the funds have been spent. And one of the ways that the auditor said that we can do this program is if we split payments up into 3. So there's not a lot of flexibility around that one, I'm afraid. But yes, do be warned that there are 2 monitoring forms and an evaluation form. Cool. Next slide. So, as residents, we have a contract with Compost London. You may know them. They have been operating in London in Newham for a long time, and they are our third-party banker, and all funds will be distributed through them. So Compost can either make purchases on your behalf. So say, for example, you're running a gardening project and you want some soil, you can send them the link and say, can you purchase this for me? I need it by this date. And they can do that on your behalf. Alternatively, you can send them a pro forma invoice, so an invoice that, it's going to cost this. They can release the funds directly to you. You can send the money to pay for the thing, and then you'll need to send them the final invoice to prove what's been paid. Or I guess the third way is you will spend the money out of your own pocket and then be reimbursed back. But yes, there are ways to do it without taking money out of your own pocket, because we realize that not everyone's in that position. So there are different ways, and Compost are really flexible and really great to work with. So just be open with them with what you need. As part of this arrangement, we pay Compost, but there is also a 3% administration fee. So you must account for this in your budget. We have plenty of resident-led projects who are surprised by this, but we tell everyone all the time, beginning, middle, and end. But please bear in mind that there is this 3% admin fee. So if your project cost is £5,000, £150 of that needs to be allocated to the administration costs, and Compost usually take this from your final payment. If you go over that, Compost won't fulfill the final, say you go over it by £70, they won't be able to fulfill that final £70. You have to pay this £150, basically, or that 3%. So please just budget that in. So next slide, please.
Okay, Anna.
Anna, I'm going to change over to Tony, if that's okay.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, let me do some changing of the spotlight. Oh, I've just put you for everyone. Okay, sorry. Oh, I've lost it all now. Sorry, give me a second.
No problem.
Cool. So I just wanted to share a case study from Plasto. So this was a resident-led project by Daphne. She'd been volunteering in Newham for years. She set up a Dominoes group in Plasto Library. And when People Power Places came along, she set up Cooking for Health. So working in partnership with Nutrition Kitchen to deliver healthy food, healthy cooking classes for older people. And yeah, I went along and it was really fun. So they also were introducing new recipes, but also like traditional recipes such as like Caribbean cooking, but giving more healthier recipes and ingredients to use. And you can see the quotes here. I think Mel from Nutrition Kitchen said, they've been cooking in a certain way for a very long time. It was amazing to demonstrate using all their familiar ingredients and dishes, but make them healthier and make sure the taste was still there. And then Jacinta, who was coming along to the classes for a few weeks, was saying how it was really exciting to learn new things. It gave me a purpose to get out and meet new people, and I'm cooking healthier at home too. And that she also used the new recipes at home as well. So these are the types of things that as a resident project you could do and make a real difference in your community. So next slide. Right, over to you, Samuel.
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you very much. So I think did we want to break very quickly for questions, or should we go on to the online form first, do you think?
What do people feel? Are there any burning questions at the moment?
I can see we've got a few questions in the chat, so we've been trying to respond to those, but does anybody at this present stage have anything urgently burning that they want to raise?
Not some, just people are asking if the slides will be shared and if the recording will be shared. So if you just want to mention that maybe.
Yeah. So
I think,
recording.
sorry,
Oh,
this is Katrina. I think I got fair share of what I really, in the information I needed, because I'm kind of setting the project new. So I got exactly what I want to hear or what I needed at the moment. So probably when you share the slide with us, I can read a bit further down to find out. And if I have any question then I can actually send a question.
of course, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will be providing recording of this online, and we will make sure to also add the slides as well.
Thank you.
Okay. If we don't have any at this stage, that's all okay. What we'll do is we can move on then really to the online form. If you just bear with me a few moments while I get that set up, and I can then share this with everyone. Okay. If we can just hold fire 1 second. Just want to now double check and make sure that, oh, bear with me. Here we go. That should do it. Okay. Okay, just want to check and see, can everyone see a screen that shows a sort of People Power Places 2025-2027 application form?
Yes, can.
Yeah.
We can all see that, and we can see that only. Is that okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Great, awesome. Okay, so yes, this is the online application form for everyone to complete. So it's split into 8 stages. Some of the sections do have quite a few questions to ask. Some of them don't. It is quite a lengthy application. Forgive us, we do need to ask for quite a bit of information at this stage. But of course, you've got plenty of time up until the 18th of September to complete it. And of course, you can get in contact with us anytime if you need any help. But the key thing for you to go ahead and start with will be to just let us know what type of applicant you are. So for tonight's purpose, we are all residents here, and you'll be able to get a range of questions here that are specific to the resident-led project. So yes, in this section, it's just basically information about yourself, about the group, and if you've got any sort of additional supplementary documentation. So it's asking for the resident group. If there's any members, if it's just yourself, just say it's just yourself, but you can also also name other members who are going to be the part of the group. If you have an agreed terms of reference already established, please, you need to make sure you provide that for us. If you don't, that's still all okay. It's absolutely fine. We will probably need to request that at a later stage, but it's not immediately required. You will also need to declare if you or any other members involved in the project have a conflict of interest. So if anybody, yourself or anybody, has an existing relationship with a council employee, with an elected member, where is related to another project applicant, or things like that, you will need to declare that you've got that existing relationship. Otherwise, in this section, we've got just basic contact information, so we know who you are, how we can reach out to you, and so on and so forth. We provide the option for everyone to provide their social media. If you want to provide your personal one, we recognize that you're a resident, so you may not have an official sort of group one, or you may just have your personal one. You can let us know if you're still happy for us to use that, so we can tag and share the social media accounts and social media posts throughout. And if you have any special communication requirements, please let us know. And pretty self-explanatory in this section here. The second section is about description of the project. So firstly, you need to let us know which neighborhood you're looking to apply your funding from, and where specifically in that neighborhood the project will take place. So I mentioned earlier in the chat today, as much detail as possible where they're going to be, if they're going to be in a public place or in a pathway or a park, for instance. This is where you'll provide the right information. You will confirm whether you need, if you know who owns the land or the premises where the project will be, if it's public or private, you need to provide that information, and also provide information whether you have the permission to deliver your project in that space. Any information about that you already have about the owner or about the space itself, please provide it here. Project details. This is where you guys get to be really sort of make a really jumpy, appealing pitch as to what your project is going to be about. So a really good catchy name, something that's really connective, describing what the project is, what it's all about, how it's going to benefit the community, why you are going to apply for funding to do all of this. Bring all your responses here. And it's really important as well that you show us that when you are going to be doing this project, how many people you think are going to benefit from it or going to take part in it, because we want to see that not only that it's a really good project, but there's loads of people that are really interested in it as well. And as we mentioned earlier about the consultation, you need to provide evidence of that research to show that your project is needed and supported in your chosen neighborhood. Essential criteria. This is a fairly important part because this is part of the sort of questions from our neighborhood community infrastructure levy and from the Newham Council's corporate plan. You would firstly need to let us know how your project addresses one of the 3 local priorities that we showed earlier. It's also on the website. Describe how it works. In the next part, the neighborhood community infrastructure levy is what funds this program. And the corporate plan is from Newham Council that has a specific focus on there about health and well-being. So not only with the priorities, We want to see that your project idea also helps sort of fulfill the Newham corporate plan, supports health and well-being, and it also helps to sort of contribute to the infrastructure levy. So there's quite a lot of information to take in here, but the key thing that we need to see is to find what type of contribution your project will make, whether it's going to use community facilities or whether it's going to improve public spaces, whether it's going to sort of supplement things that are happening in public infrastructure, or if your project is going to improve health and well-being for residents. It can be one of these, it can be all of them, it could be two, but it will need to fulfill at least one of these things. And I think every single neighborhood has voted for health and well-being. So that seems to be the most really popular, important one that residents are kind of looking for. But there's plenty others as well. But as you choose which option, you will need to describe the positive impact. So how it's going to contribute to these factors. And then you will need to explain how your project uniquely helps the local area grow and develop, and it makes Newham a better place to live. It's quite a lengthy, quite an in-depth in-depth questions to complete there. But of course, we're here to support if you need any guidance, and you've got the guidance document as well. So the budget question. So everyone will be provided online with a budget and timeline template for everyone to complete. So this is where you provide as much of your project costs, your maintenance costs, showing when you're going to do a certain thing in your project and how much it's going to cost. As much detail as you humanly possibly can. It'd be really good to make sure you provide that in this document. If you know that you are also going to apply not only for £5,000 with People Power Places, but also with from others to do your project, let us know. And if you have received any sort of funding in regards to this project or from Newham Council in the past 5 years, you'll need to provide that information here as well. So many of you will probably be here for the first time, but some may be coming in with a new project idea for the second time, or even third. You will need to provide that information, or you may have already received funding from different programs from Newham Council. The value for money. So we mentioned earlier about how your budget, if you are able to try and make it as cost effective as possible. So really the key thing is that you are confirming that your project is value for money because you have found ways to make your money sort of go as far as humanly possible in terms of finding ways to sort of find cheaper options, or utilizing volunteers, or finding ways to get support in other ways to help you deliver your project. Just finding as many ways to really make your money last. That's the key thing. And we mentioned earlier as well that for resident groups, we are not able to obviously send your funds to your personal bank account. So we use Compost London CIC to act as a treasurer, and they will provide you with a treasurer's bank account. And it's through there that we will be able to send over the funds to you. And please don't forget, there is a 3% fee to that. So as you're doing your budget, don't forget that part. But yeah, this is where you need to sort of confirm that.
Samuel?
Project. Oh, yep.
Sorry, are we happy to change Tony? Oh, sorry.
Of course. We
That's
can make
right.
it pause right here. Absolutely.
Yep, happy to change over Tony?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, lovely. Thank you.
Give me a shout when you're good to go.
Yep.
Yep. Excellent. So who will deliver the project? As much information as you can. If you're doing this all on your line, all online, all by yourself, you're an absolute trooper. That's excellent. But if you are also bringing in third parties, you're going to use some volunteers, some residents or young people are going to come in and help you out, deliver your project. As much information about that as possible would be great. You'll need to provide that here. Third parties, what we mean by third parties as well is those who already run a business and they're going to provide you with a service, and they will expect payment for that service, but they're going to deliver a part of your project and things. So if you're going to have a third party, you'll need to provide a formal statement from them that they agree to deliver the project or parts of the project if it receives funding. So this is where you'll put it. One of the key things as well that we are looking at is project sustainability. What this means is that for some of your projects, you may want to conduct it and just get it done within the timeline. So of from March next year to February 2027. If you're going to do it in that timeframe and it's all done and finished, that's great. That's fantastic. All good. But sometimes we definitely see that a project starts to grow wings. It starts to build momentum. People are really interested, and it ends up potentially flourishing into something bigger and better. People might aspire to have that opportunity in the beginning of the project, or it just naturally comes about. So we ask everyone that looks to apply, if you think your project could potentially lead to something bigger and better, maybe something along those lines, let us know, and let us know how you think that's going to potentially happen. One more thing as well is the risk factors. So of course we need to make sure that the project is done and completed and conducted within the timescales, within the budget, and also that we secure as much sort of safety for everyone involved as possible. So you will need to do a form of like risk assessment to show that to show what ways in which the project could encounter some unforeseen circumstances, to make sure that people involved are safe and well, and things like that. So you may not, as I said earlier, it's unforeseen. You can't predict absolutely everything, but if you are able to provide as much information what you think is could negatively affect your budget, your timescale, and people involved, let us know in this question. Project evaluation. So you will need to provide a brief outline on how you would demonstrate the benefits of your projects. So what this means is throughout the process, we want to monitor and evaluate the outcomes of your project. So from there, you will need to show the sort of the quantitative and qualitative outcomes of it. So if you have, for instance, done a sort of workshop to train young people on certain skills, we want to show the benefits of those. So you reached out to a couple of hundred young people, where 100 of those, for instance, were able to use that in their schools, or use that as they go on to internships, or use that maybe as they start apprenticeships or start a new job or something like that. Just show the real outcomes that because of your project, there's been long-standing sort of positive outcomes from it, and you need to show the sort of numbers to that, show the evidence of that, show the anecdotal sort of anecdotal evidence of all of that. So the next stage is submitting your application. So after you've completed your application and things, what is really important is that we need to promote your project as much as we can, as fairly as possible, but as much as we possibly can. So when your project is submitted, we have a 200-word brief description, basically a really phenomenal, cool sales pitch that we'll provide on Newham Co-Create. So everyone in Newham can have a look at your project idea and see which ones they want to support. So you will need to provide a 200-word descriptor Just make it as really good, as punchy, and as appealing as possible. And we'll put that on our website. We can share that around and let all of Newham and everyone that goes on Newham Co-Create, we let them know. We'll let them know what your project's all about, and hopefully from there, people will be ready to vote for your project. And then the last stage is the declaration. Simply just making sure that you sign and date. But before you do that, you check with yourself, check or you've answered as many of the questions as possible that you need to. Make sure you've let everyone that is also directly involved in this project know about what has been submitted, and you are ensuring that you're providing as accurate the knowledge as possible. Because if you provide any deliberate false information, it could result in legal action and potential withdrawal of funds if you do get rewarded. So that is the application form. You can do this online. This is also available on Word, and we will be able to be there and support you as well if you need to submit it in a video and audio format. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Samuel, would it be oh, I'm getting this back. Showing Co-Create and how to upload on Co-Create?
Yes. Will you be able to
Yes.
guide us through that?
Of course. I just wanted to show, I think it was Phoebe that was asking if you could see any previous projects. And I've been writing back to you in the chat, but if you go, I've just clicked on Custom House in Canning Town, for example. And if you go here, phases, you can see phase 8 or phase 9, and you can scroll down and you can see all the projects here. But anyway, let's go back to, this is Newham Co-Create, the homepage. You can go straight to click here to People Powered Places page, or we're up here. Am I showing my screen? I am showing my screen, aren't I? Cool.
Yeah.
Right, and then you can scroll down. We've put the link here for the plinth, but we've also got it in each of the neighborhoods. So let's go to Stratford, for example. So you can see what you can apply for here. You can see the voted local priorities. I'm just going to move you over there. You can see a link to the application form, as well as the guidance around the video application paper, the video guidance, catalogue, of course, and guidance is all here. And so when you apply, you need to add your project. So, oh, I really keep getting my way, little box. You go to add project, and then you can add your name or not. I'm going to add my name so people know it's me. Oh, I'm not there. That is me. And my project is called Hobbs. And it will come up if there are any other project. But to be honest, Hobbs doesn't really say what it is. So I'm going to be like healthy cooking classes for young people. This is where you would put in that description. My project will, it is needed because, any other information you want to put in there. We really encourage you to add an image. It makes it really stand out, especially for the voting. You can add any attachments you like as well. And then we really ask you to put in a location, just because we can have a map function, which makes it really easy for people to find your project. And then you press submit, and then you can view your project, and it's here. You're able to click here and edit it if you like. And then when I go back to Stratford, I'm here. And so this is what is needed for people to be able to vote for your project online. So it is really necessary and your neighbourhood teams can support you with this as well. So there you go. Oh, and I just received an email to say that I have posted my input into the platforms. That is good news. Right, back over to you, Samuel, whilst I quickly delete this before I forget.
Sure, thank you. So we've gone through the parts of the application now, and we've shown everyone the online form. We've got quite a few questions in the chat, and I think Anna's done a fantastic job, and Kasuma is helping us with responding to some of these. But we do now have the floor open for people to ask any questions. We can happily go back onto the online form as well and clarify some details. So the floor is now for everyone. If anybody has some burning questions they wish to ask.
Samuel, I think there's a question in there about if more than one people do the project, do they need to put both names and signatures onto the online form? But it's only one person per project, isn't it? Project
Sure.
name?
So in the resident section, you are in the first section of the application form, you can provide information of maybe the project lead, and you can sign it via the project lead. But in the first section, there's also it allows you to add names of those who might join as well. So yes, in the first section, you can just provide the project lead's information, but you can add the additional people on there as well.
Thank you. I missed that question. There was also a question about the criteria that the working group members will use to score projects. It's worth saying we have a... Sorry, I'm getting distracted by Monica's question. Yes, you can include the cost into your project expenses. That is fine. Yes, feasibility. So when we get all the applications through, if you are planning to do your project in a public space, so parks or highways, your application will go via the Parks and Highways team to see if it is viable. So things that would make it not viable is if the land is not owned by LBN, is not doable within the year, you haven't costed it correctly, or you want to build a floating sauna in the docks. Like that might be quite difficult to get permissions for. So if your project passes through that feasibility stage, it goes to the working groups to be scored. They will score it based on how you've met the local priorities. And the other is around meeting the NSIL criteria. Samuel, do you want to talk a bit more to the NSIL criteria?
Yes. So if I will I'll basically rephrase that a little bit again. So the NSIL criteria is the key section in which the working groups will be scoring. But to just touch on other questions, these are also important because it kind of feeds into the overall vision of your project as well. So most of the questions are equally as important, but it is the NSIL fund specifically that the sort of core council working group will be looking at. Yeah, I think that's the key point that we wanted to portray there.
Okay, Irina, do you want to swap?
Yes, please. We're just going to swap over interpreters.
Great.
Yeah.
Do we've got quite a few messages in the chat already. I don't know if there's anything that is there anybody here that wants to also has a question? Maybe they haven't put in the chat yet, or
We've got John's got his hand up.
yeah, John.
Hello, yes. I'm just wondering, I know there's a lot of people who be putting projects forward, and some of them may be very similar. At what stage would it become apparent that two projects are so similar that only maybe they've told one of you's got to drop out, or what if he's going to change your project to something that not quite so similar, or has that never happened before? And I'm just looking for problems that aren't there.
That hasn't happened to my knowledge, but what is more likely is that the neighborhood teams would introduce you and encourage you to collaborate together. So rather than being like, no, you can't, it's like, okay, how can you pool your resources and create a great project? Because you've obviously got a similar vision and ideas.
Good. That sounds good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Right. I just
And there's a
remembered we said
question
we
from
were
Monica. Sorry, go on.
spotlighting. So let me just remove all the spotlights. Oh, okay. A question from Monica.
Yeah, regarding the UBS checks, can that be included in the budgeting expenses?
Yeah, definitely. Please do. There's also a question that I've started writing back from Kate about, so our project is around developing play in the street, mostly loose parts. I don't know what that means, Kate. You might want to say more. Where do we stand with public liability insurance? At the moment, kids are just out playing with tut and rubbish, going to be an improvement, but wonder where we stand with this if it's things we're providing.
Hiya, Anna. I've popped
Hiya.
on. Hiya. Loose parts play. What we're thinking is to get a big sort of shed that we can keep things like old tires and planks. And I mean, we check stuff. We wouldn't put things in with nails on or anything dodgy, like old big cardboard boxes, things with chalk in. Like we're hoping to kind of go to construction places. They can give us like old tubes, like things that we can get for cheap or free, but it's got a really good storage unit to keep them in, and they can pull them out and use them. But we just wondered where we stand with obviously giving children things to play with that aren't toys and haven't been safety checked, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I work in schools, so this is stuff that we would use with children in schools. It's not different to things that we wouldn't use in schools, but yeah, just wondered where we stood with that.
Yeah, so you would have to provide public liability insurance, which you can pay for through your project. You might want to think about getting more than 1 year, like a 3-year policy if possible.
Yeah.
You would need to do a consultation with your neighbours. We've had a play street put forward before where there wasn't a consultation done and then the neighbours were not happy, so that didn't go forward. That had to be withdrawn, which is why consultation is really important.
Yeah.
And you would need to have permissions from highways to put in a storage, or it depends where you want to put the storage unit, whether that's
Yeah, we've got a dead end and like a huge big concrete space. So it's already got play markings on and the kids already play out in the evenings.
okay, cool. So yeah, it would be, you would need to get permissions from that as well.
Yeah.
Lots of things that you find out through this. So like, are there wires going across? Are there any like pipes underneath? Like, is it going to block anything? Is it a fire risk, etc.? So
Yeah.
and you need to check the catalogue of costs because there might be like a licensing fee attached to that or something.
Yeah. Say that again in terms of who do we need to ask about getting the shed put in? You said the roads and
the highways team. So your neighborhood team can put you in touch.
It depends as well. If it is part of housing as well, you might need housing permission as well. Because you say it's a dead end, isn't it? So it could be part of housing, could be part of highways. We need to do a bit more digging, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yep.
And I think there's a question. If an organization is supporting me as a resident, would it affect them if they apply separately?
How are they supporting you? That's my question.
I don't know who this is.
I can
NA?
see. Yeah, nah. I would say it depends.
Staffing, she's saying
Supporting you with staff. The projects do have to be different. It couldn't be like them applying and then you applying for a very similar project to, help them have a bigger project. They've got to be distinct projects. We of course encourage collaboration and working together, but the scope of the project does have to be different. but that I need a bit more information. Cool.
Okay. It may come to pass that as you're completing this application, you may want to think about whether you would actually apply as a VCFS if the organization is structured that way to apply the fund through there and you're there also helping them. But I guess it's as more information we get about what your application looks like, then we can hopefully feedback as to how the structure could potentially work.
What happens with successful projects after a year? How can they be sustainable? Can you give me some examples? Yeah, so some projects have been able to get further funding. So we had one in Beckton, for example, that received further funds from the local housing association. Kulsuma, I can see you, so I'm going to put you on the spot for Manor Park. Can you
Yes, so yeah, we've got a project that's continuing at the moment, and they've been doing it through donations as well. So it's not always just funding. They do get donations from various different organizations, local businesses as well. So that's how they're funding their project. Um, yeah, one of the other projects they've applied for additional funding before this funding finished. So that's how they were able to continue this year. So yeah.
Oh, I wanted to bring Joyty in as well. I know that there are quite a few projects in Stratford that got sustainable funding or like continued past the funding. Do you want to share? Putting you on the spot when your camera's off. Oh,
Can't see her.
she's just gone offline. But yeah, lots of projects have been able to get further funding or partnered with local organisations or businesses to continue. Emily put, if you know someone you have worked with in the past are doing a project and now you want to do a project yourself and they don't, do I need to say I know them? So in terms of a conflict of interest, no. We would be interested if they are applying for a project in this cycle. So that is fine. I don't know about anyone else, but in the last few minutes I keep losing my audio. Maybe it's my phone. Oh, John, it might be you. I think we've been all right.
Yeah. If anybody else also in the chat have some issues with sound, just do let us know.
Feel free to put your hands up. Right, Phoebe's written, so do we have to put in our proposals and any plans to seek specific donors? Do we need donors agreements already? No, you don't. You could say like, I would look to get continued funding at the end of my project, but we don't need specific, your project does not need to be match funded. So you can put in your intentions. But yeah, you don't need, I don't know, Samuel, do you have another view on that?
One of the questions is if you've got you've got your project, you're going to get funding from PPP and you're also going to get funding to do your project from somewhere else. I think you do need to show that. And if you have received, again, the past 5 years, any funding from grant funding before from People Power Places or from other grant spaces from Newham Council, you also need to show that as well.
Oh, thank you. Jennifer.
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
Hi. I used to run a community years and years ago in my area, and I still do a lot of voluntary work behind the scenes from home. And I was wanting to kind of revive my community group. So I'm just wondering, like, how much maximum can we apply for? How much funds can we, is there a maximum amount?
Yeah, so as a resident-led project, you can apply for up to £5,000. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want to apply as like a group, a community group with like a formalized legal structure, then you can apply for up to £20,000.
Okay. And also, is there anyone who would be able to kind of help with the form
Yeah,
filling?
absolutely. Whereabouts do you live, Jennifer?
Forest Gate South.
Okay, so you come under Forest Gate in Maryland. I think Lynette's here. She is the community neighborhood senior officer and she can provide one-to-one support for you.
Yes, if you come into the library and
Yeah.
you or you can book a session with me. I'm seeing people, I think, on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I think, between 11 and 1.
Okay.
So you can drop in, or if you pop into the library and have a look at my lovely display, it will tell you lots of information about the process, and you can take down the email and you can email me and you can make an appointment that way.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Lynette. I'll do that.
welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Right. And so, yeah, all the neighborhood teams are available for support. So I'm glad we can make that connection.
Anna, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just checking if Tony is okay. I've
Yeah,
spoken over.
all right. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. We've got a question from Kieran. If I get other organizations involved and charities involved, such as supplying materials or supplies through some sort of scholarships that don't involve buying from them, how do I go about adding that into the proposal? And how would I make sure they are credited for doing so? I think this will be sort of similarly treated as if you provide the information about the third party involvement, showing a statement of what they are looking to help provide and support you with. Um, I think there's a slight difference because if they're offering it for free, that's great, fantastic. If you've got that chance and the opportunity, but either way, I think it's if you can provide information like that as a third party information, that's where it's best to include it.
And just to add to that, I would put that in as in-kind support. So you can put like a monetary value to that to say like, I am getting £5,000 worth of in-kind support to support my project. And in terms of crediting, so you could put that on your application form, on your Co-Create. We'll be having a big event in next September where we invite all projects to come in. And you can like, yeah, put their logos on, you can amplify them in ways that work for you. So there's definitely space to credit people. Gail, you've got your hands up.
Hi, sorry. What it is I'm helping supporting a bigger voluntary group. That's one part. But then as an individual resident, there's something that I could also do like an individual led to obviously qualify for the individual. Would I be able to do that? But I'm not the lead in the voluntary group.
I would say register that as a conflict of interest so that we know that that's there.
Yeah.
So we're aware of it, but your projects do have to be distinct. It can't be, you know, a resident-led project supporting a VCF project to make a bigger project. They have to be separate ones. So that is my view. But yeah, I would say in the interest of fairness and transparency, like making sure that you're not heavily involved in the VCFS one if you are delivering your own project.
All right, then. So I could put that. All right, so that I could leave the voluntary one, but then, for example, if I was to able to individually led, but work with a university, would that be allowed?
Yeah, they can be a third party.
Oh, good. All right then, that's fine. Thank you.
No worries. Samuel, did you have another thought on that, or?
No, I think you've covered it absolutely fine. It is much information about the conflict of interest, and again, the structure of how the project is. And we'll just reiterate again, for fairness of new ideas, for fairness of different kinds of projects, it's really important that the VCFS one is a completely separate project, really, to what you're looking to do as an individual. I think that would be the key thing.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll make sure it's total different ideas. So, but yeah, cool. Thank you.
Bro.
Sorry, Samuel, just happy to swap over with Tony.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So I can see, well, Kieran, thank you so much for joining. Hope you got all the information you needed. Monica says, can you explain a bit more about what we can include in funds for the project? That's a broad question, Monica. You're going to have to break that down for us a bit more.
If you can expand a little bit, because this will be something that we can't give an absolute detailed answer for, because all projects are going to be maybe very different and costs are going to be very different for everyone.
Well, Jennifer, I can see your hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you're successful. Would you know after the deadline? That's after September.
Yes, so you will find out if you're through to the big vote at the beginning of October. So you've got sort of a month to prepare, and then the big vote opens from the 1st of November till the end of November, which I don't know how many days are in November. What's it, 30 days? 30, yeah, I'm looking. Okay, great, thank you. And then you'll be made aware of the outcome of the vote in January. So we need a bit of time to count all the votes, verify them, get all the paperwork in place, etc.
So we can only kind of start our project, say, beginning of January or February?
Yeah, January, February, March. If you haven't started by the end of March, then we will be looking into why you haven't started, and if it's clear that your project isn't viable, then we would offer the funding to the next project. But yeah.
No, I mean, yes, once we get the go ahead, then would that mean that we can start the project only in January?
Yes. Once you've completed the grant agreement form and provided any policies, insurance, training, certificates, etc., then we can release the first funds.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. There was another question somewhere.
I think Monica, we haven't been able to really get back to Monica with hers, but hopefully we should be able to come in the chat, or maybe also speak if she can to expand her question a little bit more. But the key thing is that every project cost is going to be unique and different, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to give a definite answer tonight, unfortunately. But this is where you can, of course, just contact your community neighborhood teams, and we can and use that for unique guidance.
Okay, great,
Cool.
Monica.
Excellent. Lovely.
I'm just trying to think of some like broad sweeping statements I can say. Like, you can buy resources such as like stationery, or if you're doing a cooking session, you can buy the food and pots and pans and hobs. If you're doing gardening, you can buy the soil and the seeds and the like spades and the buckets. And if you're doing I don't know, like an art session, you can buy the paper and the pens, and if you wanted someone to come in to deliver it, you can pay them. So
I was going to add on to that. You've got volunteer expenses. We've got somebody who's introducing a sewing club, so she can buy 10 sewing machines. So it depends on what your project is all about, to be honest. And like Sam and Anna are saying, the question is quite broad, but these are some of the examples you can actually budget for. Refreshments, the list goes on, to be honest.
But would it be worth saying that you can't give yourself a salary? Maybe
Yes.
it might be good to focus on what you can't do. Oh, this is Glenette, everyone. But maybe, you know, we've had in the past where people have used the resources and paid themselves to coordinate or something like that. You can employ someone to do a specific piece of work for your project, but you can't pay yourself a salary.
Yeah.
So maybe we should think about some definite no-nos. That's definitely one.
Well, Monica says she wants to do beekeeping workshops for schools. So I don't know much about, but I guess like equipment, safety. I'm just thinking about like the suits,
Buying the bees.
bees, what do they live in?
Yeah.
The jars for the honey. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can buy it
Hives
all.
and jars, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to also just add to Glenette, it's for resident-led projects that you can't pay your salary. Just want to double whammy on that last point, but she's correct, absolutely.
Are there any further questions? This is your time. Samuel, would it be worth sharing the contact details so that people can take a picture of that?
Yes, I actually, in fact, just also put in the chat, but I can bear with me 1 second. I'll get this up as well. Let's have a look on the slides. Sorry, bear with me.
No, I'm just.
Can you see my screen okay? Should really just say any questions. And now
Yes.
should also, well, we've got the feedback. We'll bring this in a moment, but we've got the community neighborhood contact details here. So if you need, we've put it in the chat, a PDF. It's available online, but we also have the, you can take a screenshot of this as well if you need.
I think there's a question. I don't know if it's a question or a comment, but it's from Sarah. I work with someone as a staff member who's doing a project, but I wanted to do my project. But I wanted to do my project. Can I do that by myself? So I think the answer is yes. You can apply as for a project on your
Yeah.
own.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. I think in that instance, that could be a potential conflict of interest. So just declaring that you may work with somebody that is a staff member. That's all.
Yes, Monica, our projects are neighbourhood based. So if you're applying in Stratford, you need to deliver in Stratford. Sorry, I don't know. Someone as a staff member doing a project, but wanted to do a project myself. Yeah, just declare it as a potential conflict of interest. We would need to know that. I have a question. If I'm putting in my time and effort but can't even pay myself a salary, what am I actually getting out of it? I want this to be sustainable for me in the long run. That is a really good question. In terms of tax reasons or ways that this funding might affect benefits, we aren't able to pay you a salary. I guess the benefits are you making a difference to your community, you cutting your teeth and, you know, experimenting and exploring with your project ideas, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. And then you might, my screen's gone off. Am I still here?
Yep.
Okay,
Still
I can just see you, Samuel, which is very comforting. In terms, what was I saying? Yeah, making a difference to your community, but also having a chance to test and experiment with what works. And then you can apply, you know, get your charitable status, CIC, and really outgrow us. That's our ultimate aim, for you to use People Power Places as a place to experiment. It is seed funding, and then outgrow us. But yes, we do recognise that you do give a lot to these projects.
Yasmin, you've got your hand up there.
Yeah, hi there. Just wanted to ask, you said that, for example, I'm based in Stratford, but want to deliver in basically youth zone in a youth zone, Shipman youth zone. So would that be a problem? Because they're willing to, I can have that space for free. So I just want to know how would that work?
So you're
Yeah.
based in Stratford.
So I'm basically a resident in Stratford. We have already started a project. Obviously, we don't have funding. It's called Breakthrough. So we did deliver the first one just this month, and want to obviously carry on to see if we can get funding. I'm not sure if it's too early, but want to try and apply. But it would be actually at Shipman's Youth Zone. Would that be an issue?
No, not at all.
Oh, so
Oh, sorry, wait. You want to apply in Stratford but deliver in Shipman?
Yes, please, yeah.
I would say apply in Custom House in Canning Town then and deliver in Shipman.
So I would have to, but even though I'm a resident in Stratford, would that make sense then? Would that be, I don't know, would that be an issue?
No, because you're a resident of Newham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
I think what it is as well, Yasmin, it's the important thing is where you're delivering it, not where you live. So I could be a resident of Manor Park, but I want to deliver in East Ham Library. So I would apply through East Ham Community Neighbourhood Team, not Manor Park Neighbourhood Team. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, it does.
Thanks. Sorry, it took me a minute there I was hearing Stratford Youth Zone, not Shipman Youth Zone. Sorry.
Could I just ask, this is Mardine from Custom House in Canning Town neighborhood. Who would the project benefit? Who would you be catering to if you deliver in Shipman? Would it be for Stratford residents or?
It would be for the local community. So basically, people could come from Stratford. So it's basically it's to do with so it's inclusive. So for example, it would be SEN parents and caregivers and the community. So it's quite a wide range. Children are welcome with parents, so that's the difference. So we'd be doing quite a few things. We've just done self-care. We've just obviously started out, so we're looking at, like you said, the data and everything. It's very new, so it's an idea, and also Rain is helping us, and I'm helping Rain, like I said, that with conflict of interest. So Rain is local grassroots, and that's kind of near opposite Cams, if anybody knows Cams, on Barking Road, kind of thing. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it would be good to have some discussion with the community neighborhoods senior officers, because I'm hearing like 3 different neighborhoods working on this project. Rain, I think, is Plasto. So Plasto, Custom House in Canning Town, and Stratford. And I'm almost thinking I've heard of another project idea that is similar to yours in Custom House in Canning Town. And there was reference with to Shipman Youth Zone. So I don't know if some form of collab or something, but it would be good if we could all have a chat at some point.
Could I have your email details, or could you put it in the? Is that okay, or?
Yes, if you did get it from the neighborhoods team from the chat, you can find my details there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Or I can put it in also.
If you could, that'd be great. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bro. We still have 20 minutes of this meeting. Anna has put in a feedback survey. I was going to put it on my screen, but she's also put a form in. If you do have time after this session, your feedback is really, really important for us, because it helps us basically look back, improve, find ways in which we can do these events a little bit better for everybody. Any constructive feedback is really, really appreciated. So I think she's put it in. She's put it in the chat. If you are able to follow that link and complete, that'd be also great. But we're still here for the next 20 or so minutes for any further questions or any queries from anyone.
There is one in the chat, which is a bit broken up. Can you get funds from neighbourhood, and it's open to residents from all areas? So we just say that you need to apply in one neighbourhood, and largely it should benefit residents in that neighbourhood. But we know that residents don't just stay to where they live, or where they go to school, they do travel around. So of course, we're not going to say, no, you can only benefit residents in Canning Town. You can benefit residents across the borough.
Okay, Irina.
Yeah, all good.
Great.
Right, shall we draw this to a close? It seems that questions have dried up, which means that we must have done a really good job.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the link in the chat again for the feedback forms. But just wanted to say thank you all so much for your time. Your neighbourhood teams are, we've got someone joining now. Your neighbourhood teams are here to support you. I'll be putting the recording up probably mid next week because I'm off for a couple of days. And I will send it around to the neighbourhood to send it to you all. So thank you so much all for coming, and we look forward to receiving your applications.
Bro. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, sorry, just one thing. You know the feedback form, it has one question repeated twice.
Oh, does it? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. About what was the question? Yeah, it says the support clinic gave me the information I needed. It says
Oh,
that
yeah,
twice.
you're right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.